Well, hello again, my Flat Earth family. I have a couple things I want to talk to you guys about this evening, and when I say Flat Earth family, I really truly mean that. I have a lot of close friends here in real life, but the people out there that really understand my heart and my open mind are my family of Flat Earthers. You guys understand me, and I really adore all of you and love all of you. To all the people out there that listen to my YouTube channel and follow me on YouTube, and to all the people out there that I converse with and socialize with on social media like Facebook and Skype. I love you guys, and you really truly are my Flat Earth family. So I wanted to make this video this evening to kind of go over what I'm going to call Flat Earth obligations. I'm just going to explain my thoughts, and I'm also going to kind of go over a situation that happened with me on Facebook, and I kind of want to put it out there to let people know that you don't have to take this kind of abuse, and maybe give you an idea on what our responsibilities are, but everyone is very different. I'm actually going to read you a little bit of something here off my Facebook. I got to go back to it. I had a gentleman, and it's getting to the point where I'm accepting friend requests and not able to vet them as easily anymore. And that's just because I get many of them, and some of them are people that are finding me from YouTube, and they don't have a lot of the similar friends, and they might not be in a lot of the Flat Earth groups just yet, and I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. If they want to friend me because they want to, I don't want to say learn from me like I'm some kind of teacher, but if they want to, see my thoughts or see what I'm posting, then, I don't want to deny that from them. But if they start creating issues, then bye, life is too short to worry about those sorts of things. So I had a situation happen the other day where on my private Facebook profile, I was just sharing, it was a little bit of a moment of weakness. I was sharing that I was very frustrated, that I did not have any kind of laptop or computer that can make higher quality content videos. When I do videos like this, I have my cell phone propped up on a old camera tripod, and that's how I'm doing it, but it works. But when I do the content videos, I was kind of looking for something, and I'm just kind of putting it out there that I want to make it happen, that I need to get, better equipment to make better videos. And a gentleman popped on there and started commenting, and it really had nothing to do with the original post, and that's kind of where my frustration came about at first. But I'm going to read this to you guys, and I'm going to share you my thoughts on it, and maybe even put it out there and make sure that I was handling it correctly. So here goes. And I'm not going to say the person's name. Maybe we'll just call him Mr. Lost. So Mr. Lost says, on a comment on this thread, "I will not be bothered if you delete and ignore this, but have you found some proof of Flat Earth during your research? Or a way I could have proof, or a way I could at least have a belief, because right now I barely know that I'm alive." And I responded, "As I tell everyone, I will not do this for you. I also don't encourage belief. Go research it yourself and know. It seems silly to come onto my thread where I'm sharing a total aggravating situation and not realize my stance on Flat Earth, or not have followed my work." And I say this because very recently I changed my profile around. Maybe for the last half a year or 5 months, I've made everything very public, and I share a lot of Flat Earth things now. And I even have right on there that I've been an independent Flat Earth researcher for 2 years. 2 years in February. So now I'm working on past 2 years. And I didn't mean to say that to sound, egotistical or obnoxious. It was just that I felt like that was a troll remark to jump on there and say, "Do you even have any proof? Like, well, you've been doing this for so long and you consider yourself a Flat Earther, but do you really even have any proof?" And I get very frustrated when people, because he mentions later that he's only been doing this for a little while. When I started this, no one came to me and held my hand and said, "Carly, I want you to look at this. I want you to start to believe in this, and here's a video, this is what's going on. Now, that does happen sometimes with people that trust each other and friends talk. But I looked into this on my own because I was curious. And I followed the rabbit trail where it led. And I used my own discernment as to where I wanted to go with my research. And that's how I ended up here. I didn't just jump on someone's comment thread and start passively aggressively demanding answers. There's so much information out there and so many resources that there's absolutely no reason why you need to go harass someone else to try to find your answers, okay? So, number one, that is, I don't feel like I have an obligation to do that. Now, hear me out. I do feel very obligated to help people who really want to learn, and they do it respectfully. There's a big difference. So I'm going to keep reading. He says, Mr. Lost says, I have now unfollowed Education You, which I think he meant to say, I have now unfollowed you. But I would like for you to read my comment and your response and grasp what you have said, because I asked for a way I could find proof, which I do not believe you have any. And if you do, and you're keeping it secret, you are likely the evil I am against. Which seems highly unlikely, but still you are against truth, and try to feign intellect through superior research. But you are against it, trying to stifle research again. I hope you understand what I seen in your above statement, because all I seen is nastiness and deceit. The worst I expected was to be ignored or blocked by you. Instead, you insinuated that I have not done my research. And what I was asking you was not a part of my research. If you wish to not help me on my quest, that is your loss. And then he goes on to say, and right now, from all the information I've gathered from you, I still hold the belief you are a selfish person and likely a liar. I encourage people to recognize beliefs and programming, and my beliefs will be held as truth, and I am presented with new information that would cause me to question my beliefs. The reality of it is neither one of us know shit, excuse my language, and it's not likely ever to happen, but I am security conscious, so I wouldn't need your address, only a city to send. He was asking if he could send me, he had a used laptop, and that was his way of getting in there and wanting to communicate with me. But at this point in time, I don't know this person, and that might be a very nice gesture, but I don't want to give out my address. I don't want a gift from anyone, a used computer from anyone. I was not expecting that, and the way he was talking throughout the rest of the conversation, it scared me, and I was not going to address that issue or even, agree to it. I think that was just a way for him to think he could get on my thread and talk about this stuff. I responded, I have no issues helping others, but there's a time and a place to reach out for help. I thought it was in bad taste on this thread, and I reserve the right to say that. You see, my page says I'm a flat earth researcher for 2 years, yet you question whether I know the earth is flat. I said you could have private messaged me and I could point you in the right direction. But this will not be an awakening for you, for your benefit, if you let everyone else do your legwork. There is so much resource out there. I do not appreciate you calling me a liar. You do not know me. To answer your question, yes, in my studies and my peer studies, I have no doubt we live on a flat, motionless plane. Through independent, and I go through a lot of the studies that I've done, through independent crepuscular sun ray studies, I know the sun is close, small, and localized. From independent sun studies, I know the sun cycles on a circuit above us. From independent sun and moon studies, I know the sun and moon are similar size. Because of independent studies, I know the sun and moon move away from us. It does not set behind curve, and it's affected by atmospheric lensing, which changes size and color. From independent studies, I see that the lunar eclipse is not caused by Earth's shadow or Earth coming between sun and the moon. It is more likely a shadow from vortices in our liquid space. From independent studies, I have found zero curvature as high as 21 miles. From independent studies, water always finds its level and there is no measurable curvature at sea. I have done models on the evidence of the sun's path. I have detailed theories on terrarium Earth, the dome and the mechanics of distilled water being what feeds the ice wall, etc. Yes, Yes, I know the Earth is flat and motionless plane. I suggest you start doing your own observations, documentations, experiments, and research so you can answer your own questions and find truth. I do not suggest trolling others' pages or posts demanding they prove anything to you and then turn around, call them liars, and pretend you've got them pegged. Good luck during your awakening. And then the next time that he answered, he says, Mr. Lost says, and this is very long, and I apologize for anyone that doesn't want to listen to all this, but just to give you an idea on how some of these people act, and I really didn't even need to let this gentleman go on for this long, but I wanted to see where his head was at, and if it was worth putting my time and effort into helping him. Was what he was saying out of fear and anger, which it probably was it something that we could overcome, and that was just an initial response? Or is this part of his personality, and it was going to be a problem in the future? Excuse me. So, he goes on to say, he laughs, as soon as my research is weeding out the people like you, because you were seeking a different form of attention and didn't like my question as put towards you. I have been researching Flat Earth for 2 months. I know there's truth there, but I know that 2 months. But I know that no one has yet to give me any proof in Flat Earth, and ignorance such as yours, acting as if this is not a part of my research, and telling me to go look because the information is out there. Thanks for your help. Like I already said, I promote a truth. Me thinking I would be helpful in weeding out a year of frivolous studies so I could catch up to you. When I freely support the flow of information could only benefit you, unless you intend to gain something from holding the information. Anyway, trust the independent studies. I trust nothing that comes in the name of independence, and I hold nothing as fact that I have not proved and tested myself. And that is exactly why I'm motivating him to do this. And the only reason I mentioned above some of the studies I've done, because he questioned whether I believed what I had studied or that I believed in Flat Earth, even though I mentioned that I had been a Flat Earth researcher for 2 years. So that is the only reason why I mentioned some of the independent studies I've done. Let's see. And honestly, I do not really like you. I think you are a fraud, but it's good to know that you are studying for your arguments. This wasn't a court. I didn't put you on trial, but all of this because you have no proof. And you do not want to say it. You have more studies. My indoctrination is over. I recognize your programming, but you knew my quest. You knew my question. You knew what my response would be. Apparently I must have liked a comment of his at one time, and that's how he found me. I don't remember, but I do that all day. He said he's security conscious, and I know tell truth is deadly. Some of this doesn't make sense. But I also know people, and people trust me, even when I'm an asshole. I am your mirror. You wanted opposition, and you came to me with foolishness. He came to me. Because you are a Flat Earther trying to prove Flat Earth, and your line stating you are a Flat Earth researcher, well, that is what I'm really doing. I have looked into Hollow Earth and expanding Earth slightly. Many Flat Earthers and some with the Bible belief say it is a flat realm. And without explanation, history of that term, I don't know what that is, except for a space. Maybe you recall... He thinks that I sent him a friend request. He says, maybe you recall sending a friend request now. I do not remember doing that, but again, it's all day, every day. I don't normally send out friend requests. I usually just accept them. I don't go looking for more friends. He said, I recognize your programming. You create chaos. You create opposition. I hope that's not how everyone sees me. I am babysitting a woman right now for the same thing. Talking shit, trying to boast themselves by putting others down. I hope that I don't do that either, and I know I do not. Stop calling yourself a researcher if you think you know something. Unless you have traveled of the end of the earth, I think he meant to, you cannot say its size or shape. And if it appears flat for eternity, appearance still means nothing. Could still be a ball. So large we are too small to imagine the capacity or ever experience something other than the flat plane. I am interested in the ends of the earth. What secret is being kept in Antarctica? The name of Abraham's deity, and finding the evil oppressors who are enslaving all of humanity and trafficking in our children. Flat Earth propagation is the only thing I've ever seen attacked by so many people, and is the only place I've ever witnessed someone repeatedly be attacked by some paid entity to make Flat Earth look like a joke, which is ironic because I feel like he was on my thread attacking me. I don't think it mattered how I would have answered him. I think he was really prepared to have all these long comments. I mean, I think he just really wanted to be listened to. But, you know, if you're reaching out for help, this is the wrong way to do it. And that's, again, why I'm making this video. He goes on to say that he knew of someone that had been attacked for all of this. He says, my quest is simple. Ensure the survival of my children. If we are trapped under a dome, then either I must become part of the elite or hide where they don't exist. But they have all knowledge and technology, so Flat Earth means I must kill the elite. And that eugenics might be necessary to control the balance of nature. But I am against causing unjustified harm or sacrificing the innocent of the good of the community. I have chosen to speak the truth as I know it, and all I know is I don't know. And I will expose anything I believe to be a lie. And even now I know you wouldn't fight for my life. He seems to know a lot about me. I am willing to be executed or to sacrifice my life to expose what I witnessed, because that is all I can do. I have witnessed you. Okay. Kind of shitty, because many good men will have to die before the slaves wake up, but yay for independent studies, because you must not be involved in any type of business except as a consumer. I think I will have one of my mentors do an independent psychological analysis on you. After conferring with him what I think of you, but you have more information about my independent analysis than you gave me. My mentor is trusted at least by me, but likely not by you. No, probably not. Especially if he is to say something negative about you or something you disagree with. But an independent study. How many independent studies do you think I can find in detail about globe theory, evolution, gravity? I can guarantee I can study those for the rest of my life, and maybe I'll believe in the globe again. Or find something that is proof. Even my vision is only perspective, and I have known that, but that seems to be one of the biggest ideas used to prove Flat Earth. And that's when I said goodbye. But I did leave those comments there because I kind of wanted to read them on a video like this, and I wanted to kind of put this out there to let people know that, first of all, if you're getting trolled, you're not the only one. But for those of you out there trying to make a difference and you are a voice in the community, this is the kind of stuff that we run up against. You run up against people who they think that they are obligated to have the answers and that we need to give it to them. When in reality, our only obligation is to ourselves. I was obligated when I started looking into this to research it front to back, up and down, side to side, and know that the earth is flat. It's not a belief that I wanted to start. It's not a religion I wanted to start. I wanted to know the truth. So my obligation, and still my obligation, is to myself. Now that being said, because I'm the one that's responsible for my own growth. My only obligation, really, and I don't mean that to sound selfish, is to myself, my brain, my heart, my awakening, my growth, my education, you know, all those things. However, those of us out there that are making content videos or are maybe adminning on Facebook groups, or they're being interviewed, or they're writing books, or they're doing art, or they're doing poetry, they're doing t-shirts or mugs, and they're trying to get the word out there, and they're trying to be a voice in the community, and they are creating conversation about this. They, in my opinion, when you get to that point, because you've chosen to take that next step, even if I'm choosing to talk to my best friend about it, or I'm choosing to talk to friends and family members, now you have a responsibility. And not everyone may agree with this, but once you take that next step where you decide you want to share it, that's the difference. Once you want to start sharing, then your responsibility, in my opinion, is become as educated as you possibly can. Get out there and do the observations and document things that you see, and do the experiments and put yourself out there as much as you want, but try to become as knowledgeable as possible. But it doesn't matter if you aren't the smartest person or you don't know all the different avenues of flat earth and you want to share. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I feel like it is a little bit of our responsibility to continue to grow and to continue to learn about this if we want to share. And that's where, I guess that's where I come in here, is that I feel like I now have a responsibility putting my voice out there and my art and my documentation and my photos and my videos and such, that I have a responsibility to try to be as knowledgeable as I can. My other responsibilities are, when it comes to Facebook, like adminning groups. I think I admin 12 or 13 groups now, and I own one group, that's Flat and Happy. My responsibility is to be a good leader and to be there when people do need me and have questions, but it needs to be done in a respectful way. I also need to be that person that responds respectfully. So I am going to put this out there. I hope that when I read what happened on that thread, I hope that I handled that okay. I wish that gentleman would have came to me in a different way. And I don't think that a lot of people understand how much we are trolled. So this message, if you're someone that still believes in the globe earth and you're listening to this, if you are questioning things and you want to reach out to someone that is a flat earther and you are hoping to get some answers or some direction on where to go for your research, be respectful. You wouldn't want someone coming onto your thread and monopolizing it or harassing or attacking others or attacking yourself or commenting at something that has nothing to do with that thread. There's rules to the social media aspect of it. We're all human. Respect each other. Go to that person like it's your family member and treat them like how you would treat a family member if you were asking them a question. And I vow to do the same thing, that if someone comes to me, and I know that I'm putting myself out there and hopefully I don't get completely bombarded, but if you have questions and you seriously want to learn and you just need a push in the right direction, like I said, I'm not going to do it all for you. I'm not going to lay it all out there for you. A lot of people have already done some of that in their videos, and they've done that in their experiments and their observations and their content videos, but I can point you in the right direction. You're not going to appreciate this as much if I do it for you. Or if you go on one of my comment threads or someone else's comment threads and you expect them to give you all the answers, you're not going to get out of this what you need. That's not what it feels like to become awakened. That's not what it feels like to have a realization of how reality is changing for you. You have to put the work in yourself. I hope that doesn't sound harsh. But like I said, part of our obligation versus our responsibility would be to treat each other with respect. And if there are some of you out there that you're at that point where you want to take the next step in your awakening or the next step in being involved in the flat earth community, and you want to start making videos or you want to start doing hangouts or interviews or any kind of art or observations, experiments, and you need a little push or you need some help, you can come to me, and I'm sure that all the other voices in the community out there would gladly talk to you and help you with that little push and that little nudge to the next step if you feel like that's where you want to go. I had help when I first started. I didn't go to people for a lot of answers, but I was seeking out like-minded people, and I imprinted on a couple people when I first started here, and I know we all are going to do that. Unfortunately, sometimes the relationships don't stay the same all these years past now, but it's good to go out there, and I want to encourage people to ask for help. But that gentleman went about it the wrong way, and he was not respectful. And a huge goal of mine when it comes to being involved in the flat earth community is getting back to the point where humans understand how important we are and how important we are to each other, and how we need to start socially not dealing with each other, but socially interacting with each other. we've lost a big chunk of that. And what Mr. Lost was exactly describing is why I'm doing this, and why I hope that he finds his way. I hope that he has a change of heart, but what you're hearing in those comments is part of his personality that he's probably had a big portion of his life. People can change. Hopefully someone can influence him and let him understand how he's being, because it's very hard to see it yourself. But I hope that he can change for the better. So I'm going to be naming this Flat Earth Obligations. And before I leave, I did want to kind of put out there, like I said, I hope that I handled that situation okay. I don't want people out there to think that I'm a liar, or that I haven't researched this, and that I forget what all he said, you know, what his impression of me was. But I hope that I'm not putting that impression out to anyone else. I hope that was just a one-time issue, and it was his issue. But I do encourage others that if you feel like I'm not available enough, although I try to be very much so, and if I'm not handling those sorts of situations okay, let me know. Please bear in mind that I have a full-time job and run quite a few groups and try to keep up with the content channel as well. And but I promise you, if you reach out to me and you have a question, or you need help, or you need motivation or encouragement, you want to do a collaborative project, anything like that, reach out to me and I will try to make it work, and I will help you as much as I can. I hope this makes sense. I hope that you guys understand, as a recap, our obligations in the Flat Earth community are to ourselves. Your obligation in your awakening is to yourself. But once you start taking the next step, you have responsibilities to treat each other a certain way, respect each other, be kind to each other. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope this resonates with most of you. Have a good day.